Hello everybody, my name is Bragster and welcome back to TEW 2020. I know, finally I am back to TEW 2020. It's been a very long time. If you haven't seen my video already, I did explain why, but I'll quickly just explain, I guess. I got a new PC, new microphone, new PC, new everything. So things might look a bit different. I'm hoping they look better. I can't guarantee that, but I'm hoping they look better. I'm trying to work out how to record things still, but this is quite an easy one to record, so I can just go ahead with that one. We'll get straight on into things. I've still got some mail. Apparently Glenn Gilberetti's contract is running out. He is a road agent. You can also wrestle in the ring. I feel like he's quite useful, so I'll probably get him back, but I'll do that off camera. Obviously in the last episode was a massive one, which is why I was able to leave it confidently, it had the big triple threat match. It was meant to be a fatal 4-way, but Daga came in and obliterated Jeff Hardy. We're going to get a lot more of that at the moment. It was another Miro show as well, a Miro based show. We got a lot going on today. We've got the Ace Austin versus Ken Shamrock title match. We have got that 4v4, the Kingdom versus the Rebels. Or the Rebellion or whatever it's called. Then we've got Rosemary versus Havoc to qualify for the title match, the Scramble match, and we've got Jake Christ versus Rob Van Dam. Those are just the 4 confirmed matches. We'll possibly have some more matches. We'll end up seeing what they're like. Anyway, without further ado, I think we should just get straight on in with it. If anything happens beforehand, I'll show you. If not, let's just get on with the show. Well, this is a weird one. I'll see if it's in this. We've got NWA dating. We've got Tennille Dashwood is dating Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore is brilliant. I love Enzo in the ring. I feel like he's amazing on the mic as well. Do you know what? I'd be more than happy to actually capitalise on this relationship and stuff, and have Enzo Amore as a bit of a manager. But I feel as though Enzo... oh yeah, thanks for bringing in Enzo Amore. It'd be great. Apparently he's not got any heat. I might actually do that. I might bring in Enzo Amore and have this Tennille Dashwood Melina thing with Enzo in there. I'd love to see that, actually. I genuinely, I was going to make a joke out of this, but I genuinely think this might be a good thing for us. And Matt Striker's relocated, which is fine, and I've still got to do the Gilberetti thing. So yeah, I genuinely think I will sign Enzo up. I feel like Enzo would be a great shout. It'd be great in the X Division as well. I feel like there's a lot I could do with Enzo, and I would use him a lot more outside of the ring, but it'd be quite interesting to see what I can do with him. So yeah, that's quite an interesting turn of events. Right, so we got some backstage incidents before the show with Scott D'Amore and Alex Shelley, and Scott D'Amore and Rhino, where Scott D'Amore has been passing on microphone tips to Alex Shelley. Brilliant stuff there. And Scott D'Amore has been passing on microphone tips to Rhino. Even better. Obviously, the better the promos, the better the matches and all of this. So yeah, really good stuff there. I'm happy with that. Right, so I'm going to book the show and then I'll show you what happens. Right, so I've booked the show. I think it's a pretty good one as far as I'm concerned. I feel like from here on out until lockdown, it is going to be good show after good show. I feel like there's a lot going to be packed into these. So much is going to be packed in, it's ridiculous. Like, ridiculous how much is going to be packed in. Just to point out, I have 6 matches on this card, and I feel like that's how it's going to be from here on out quite often. Like, there's not going to be... How do I describe this? There's not going to be, like, a lot of filler anymore. Everything's going to, like, matter. Everything matters. Everyone that I want to be on the show is on the show now. I have loads of different storylines going on, and I'm finding ways of getting every single person on these shows, which is exactly what I want. So... because of that, I feel like this is going to be one hell of a show. So let's just get on with it. So we start off the show with a 56 rated match where Ace Austin defeated Ken Shamrock in about 10 minutes of the House of Cards. Ace Austin makes his first defense of the world title. There was no Madman Fulton at ringside. That was the stipulation for this. It would be a one-on-one match, purely one-on-one. These two went full on at it. Ken Shamrock brought out his brawling style. He went full out for this one. So Ace Austin matched him and bettered him. 56 is a great way to start off the show. Ace Austin with a 58 rated performance. Bear in mind he's only got about 45 popularity. He is a star. And yeah, he's just proving here how good he's going to do. Obviously, Johnny Gargano is the #1 contender and will be facing him at Lockdown. That match right there is one I would love to see in real life. So yeah, this is really shaping up to be a great title feud. Then we've got a 46 rated segment where Scott D'Amore has Miro and Tommy Dreamer in his office, and he says, look, next week you two are going to pick each other's poison. So Miro will pick Tommy Dreamer's opponent and Tommy Dreamer will pick Miro's opponent for next week. However, the week after that, they said, as far as I'm concerned, Scott D'Amore was like, as far as I'm concerned, last week's match wasn't meant to happen. And then I gave you the opportunity to have your match and you took things too far, as you guys seem to do. So he went, fine. If you want to take things far, take things this far. Unsanctioned. It won't be their fault, won't be their problem. These two can just go at it until one of them can't get up again. And yeah, Scott D'Amore is just like, I've had enough. You two settle your differences unsanctioned. Not often do I do unsanctioned stuff. Not very often do I do it. But I felt like it was the right thing to do. I feel like these two can put on a really good unsanctioned match, and it's, yes, the feud hasn't built up to one, but it's just one of those feuds where Miro's pissed, Tommy Dreamer's trying to defend the company, and they've taken things too far. So as far as they're concerned, they do not want this with the company. They don't want this in the company's hands, so they're taking it off of their hands. Then we've got a 40 rated segment where Daga tells the world that they better be watching, and Hernandez then goes to shut him up. Obviously this is to do with the Jeff Hardy situation. Daga is just like, are you watching me now, sort of thing, about this Jeff Hardy situation. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it says that he doesn't do well with his script, yet he's still getting 40s. So I feel like if I can get Daga getting some good promos out, this could be really good for him. And the match he produces is a 34 rated match. Unfortunately, Daga sustained the bruised eye socket. He got a 36 rated performance. Hernandez got a 31, and it was stopped. It was a stoppage. Daga just absolutely battered him, was just beating him up in the corner, beating him up, throwing him around ringside, and it was just this angry Daga, and just completely took out Hernandez. Something that most people wouldn't have been expecting going into that match. It was uncompetitive. It really was. It was full on just Daga domination in this. And yeah, really nice work by these two. 34 rated is about what I expected, to be honest. Then we've got a 44 rated segment where EC3 tells Melissa Santos that he's disappointed. He's disappointed that he couldn't take advantage last week. There was one less man to worry about, and he couldn't take that advantage. But he looks forward to his next challenge, and as he says that, Brendan Webb walks in, looks EC3 up and down, and walks out. And you just see EC3 nodding with a grin on his face. Where this goes is yet to be seen, but I feel like these two can do some good stuff and might elevate Brendan Webb, who's very unknown, especially on the game at the moment. It is extremely unknown, so it'd be nice to see if I can, lift him up in this feud as well. Then we've got a 43 rated segment where Su Yung sends a warning to Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb said that she didn't like what Su Yung had been doing, and Su Yung has this cryptic promo, and basically there's just warnings in there of like X's on pictures of Serena Deeb's face, etc, etc, things like that. So yeah, a real strong warning from Su Yung to Serena Deeb, and yeah, basically trying to scare away Serena Deeb from this situation. Then we have a 44 rated segment where the Rascals warn the North that they have no idea what's coming to them. They think this is all fun and games still. They think this is the old Rascals. This really isn't. This is a pissed off Rascals. This is a Rascals that will take things to the next level, take things to a level where they really don't want to go. And yeah, the Rascals really put out a warning here and go, trust me, you have no idea what's coming for you. So yeah, it's just slowly building up and building up and building up, and I know where it's going to go at Lockdown. It will blow up at Lockdown, and it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I really am enjoying this feud. As a reason for that is I've just kept it going and going and going. Like, I've really enjoyed where it's gone. It's gone from just a random little feud to spanning over months and months because of injuries and stuff, but it works so well in terms of storyline until this blow off moment. It's great. Then we got a 45 rated match where Rosemary defeated Havoc in 15 minutes with an Olympic slam. During the match, Johnny Bravo accidentally hit Rosemary as well. That is another thing that happened in this match. Rosemary with a 43, Havoc with a 40. James Mitchell apparently did some good work at ringside, but unfortunately for him, his time is done with Havoc, as we'll see in a minute. Havoc did say, if I don't get into that scramble match, we are done. So yeah, Rosemary's in that scramble match. It will, at the moment, it is, let me do this off the top of my head, Rosemary, Thunder Rosa, Kairi Hojo, and Jordan Grace. I'm 90% sure, yes. That is the match so far. Brilliant match. Obviously, we still got the four-way bit between Kylie Ray, Tasha Steelz, Kira Hogan, and Kimberly, I think, is the matches there. So yeah, that should be a really good end to it, and then we can start moving ahead. But this has been a nice way of just showcasing. Literally, it has been a showcase for the women, a women's showcase. Convenient that. It's been a brilliant way to just showcase every single women's talent, and you're really starting to see who should be at the top, who should be at the bottom of the card and stuff like that in the women's division. It's really good to see. Then we have a 29 rated segment where Havoc just power bombs James Mitchell. Very short segment here, nothing that exciting. He goes into the ring to see how she is, and she just picks him up and power bombs him. They're signalling the end of their little run together. So yeah, that's it for Havoc and James Mitchell. It just wasn't working for me. I'm not James Mitchell's biggest fan, and I just felt like this pairing just felt really off to me. It just, like, James Mitchell and Abyss worked back in the day. This little pairing here might have worked in real life, but it did not work in my head. I couldn't quite work out where to go with it, so I just thought to scrap it. Then we have a 41 rated segment where Tasha Steelz is with Elijah Burke, and basically Kira Hogan walks in and asks him, what's going to happen when I beat her ass? You keep enticing her into this little kingdom, and you keep bringing her in, yet why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep bringing Tasha Steelz into this? Because what happens when I beat her? Are you going to take on a loser? Do you want a loser in your faction? This, that and the other. And it gives Elijah Burke a lot to think about. So next week is when this match is going to happen, and it's interesting, very, very interesting. And it's almost like a fight for who goes into the kingdom, really. Is it Tasha Steelz or is it Kira Hogan? It very much appears that way to be. Then we have a 32 rated match where Rhino defeated Tino Sabatelli in 10 minutes with Gore. Rhino got a 37, Tino Sabatelli got a 26, which is good for his popularity. Heath was at ringside for this one. This is just a subtle progression of this rivalry, not really much to go off in this one. But yeah, if it's a decent match and just one to put on the show. Wasn't really much I could really do with this feud. This Heath Rhino thing, I feel like the blow off is coming soon, so I just need to get to that point. Then we got a 36 rated segment where Maria tells the Warrior, talks about the Warriors of Pain and says, you know, I'm not scared of you, you know, I'll just call Scott D'Amore and get him to make a match and then you'll come back. I'm not scared of when you're going to come back, sort of thing. And then Brian Myers walks in and interjects himself and he's like, come on guys, we can take out the Warriors of Pain. 3v3 next week, us three versus the Warriors of Pain. And then he walks off and goes, I'm making that match now. And you just see Maria's face just drop. She just looks very angry. She's not impressed with Brian Myers at all. Obviously, Brian Myers is trying to interject himself into Allure, the faction of Allure, and it's just not working. It's a little bit of a comedic side of Brian Myers coming out here. He thinks they're his friends and they're really not, but you know, they're using him to take out the Warriors of Pain, but unfortunately they weren't ready for what Myers was doing here. Then we got a 36 rated segment again, where Rohit Raju and Daivari talk about the weirdos. Rohit Raju talks about his master plan. You know, he's had this master plan where he was going to bring in Daivari and they were going to take out Suicide together, this, that and the other, and then all of a sudden Manic is there and this, that, they haven't got a clue, to be completely honest with you. They are just annoyed and they're baffled. They're just like, 1 minute I have to deal with this guy, then I have to deal with this guy, now I have to deal with both of you, sort of thing. He's just not very impressed at all. So he brought in Daivari to be a difference maker. Instead it was just a leveler the entire time, and they're not very impressed about that. Then we got a 46 rated segment, for fuck's sake, where RVD defeated Jake Crist in 10 minutes by pinfall with a surprise cradle. During the match, Katie Forbes attacked Jake Crist. It didn't really say it there, but it was in the notes that Katie Forbes attacked Jake Crist. That led to the finish, so she hit him with like the heel of her shoe, and RVD did the surprise roll up. Apparently they didn't click at all and it led to an awkward bout. I mean, in 46 when they don't click at all isn't so bad. Protecting RVD a little bit here. I do have a plan for where this is going and I'm really excited about the plan as well. I feel like it's going to be a really good blow off and I think you guys are really going to like it. But here we've got Jake Crist, who's been on the rise, getting screwed over by the veteran, even though they're both heels, but they're still getting screwed over, which is just going to piss off Jake Crist even further. Then we've got a 54 rated segment where the Motor City Machine Guns had a promo package about their lives, about their careers so far, and about this year in their careers. You know, they both had a chance to win world titles. Both of them had that opportunity to win a world title. And they both failed, but instead they both come out with the tag team titles and stuff like this. You know, they're in a good place, but they feel like they could have been in such a better place than they are right now. Then we got a 41 rated segment where Johnny Gargano talks about his victory, and Rick Swann comes in and he is angry, he is pissed, he is like shouting at Gargano, you know, saying, I thought you were my friend, I thought you were my friend. Because obviously during the match, Rick Swann got attacked by Eric Young. That led to Johnny Gargano using this, taking advantage and pinning Rick Swann. Yeah, so Gargano just thought this was going to be a nice little interview about his opportunity to become world champion, and instead Rick Swann is angry at him for taking advantage, and Gargano's just like, well, what did you expect me to do, sort of thing, you know, and all of this, and Rick Swann is just absolutely pissed off. Apparently Rick Swann benefited from having a hot catchphrase. That's good to see. But yeah, I feel like these two, there's a lot of animosity between these two, and we're going to see where that goes before we end up with the Ace Austin stuff and the Eric Young stuff as well. There's so much going on, it's ridiculous. And then we have a 60 rated match, the main event of the evening, 60 rated. Was not expecting a 60 rating. That fills me with so much confidence because I have so many plans and it's amazing. The Kingdom of Chris Bay, Shane Taylor, Fred Yehi and Jonathan Gresham defeated the Rebels of Willie Mack, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson and Eddie Edwards in 20 minutes when Shane Taylor pinned Carl Anderson with the unprovoked violence. Eddie Edwards got a 58, Carl Anderson 50, Doc Gallows 48, Willie Mack 50, Jonathan Gresham with a 60, Fred Yehi with a 55, Shane Taylor with a 47 and Chris Bay with a 53. Unbelievable match by these guys. I made sure they went full out, and the Kingdom outperforming these guys. Now bear in mind, I love Willie Mack, love Eddie Edwards. I've never been the biggest fan of the Good Brothers. I've never have been, and I don't think I ever will be. I never quite got them, and I've tried to give them a bit of personality here, but the ratings aren't the best in the world. So still producing an amazing match, to say the least. But yeah, the Rebels couldn't beat the Kingdom. The experience of these four together is proving to be imperative in this rivalry. So then after the match, the Kingdom start beating down the Rebels. Elijah Burke gets in the ring. They are outnumbered. Well, so they thought. And then you hear this. That's right, Moose is here. Moose comes out, his music hits, he walks to the ring, and the Kingdom scatter. Moose just gives them a glare, looks at all the people on the floor. He does nothing. He doesn't attack them, he doesn't do anything, but he came out for the save. Whether he was going to beat up the Kingdom, I don't know, but they got out of there before they even gave him the chance of attacking them, and Moose just stands in the middle of the ring. TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose stands in the middle of the ring, surrounded by bodies, and standing tall, with the Kingdom fleeing before Moose can even get a single hand on him. What a way to finish the show. You weren't sure whether Moose would get involved or not, but he did, and that finishes the show, and that gives us a 57 rated show. This show could have been 10 times better. The middle part of this show was so weak, but the start and the finish just really showed the talent we have in this in Impact. We have an amazing array of talent, and that was unbelievable. What a show that was. Obviously we still have Explosion yet to come, which is just mad to think, but we still have Explosion yet to come. But yeah, what a show. Moose is now involved. Where that is going to go will be interesting to see. There's a lot coming our way. Yeah, I just have a lot of ideas, and I can't wait to show them, because the next 2 weeks are packed as well. Then probably as we're going forward, we're going to have some more packed shows. We've probably got not next week, but the week after, very much so far, judging by what I've set up in my head, is very much a big show. Already confirmed for that one is the unsanctioned match. So that kind of just says how big that show might be. That might be our big super show. Our last super show before the pay-per-view, so that'll be quite interesting. But we got some mail here, and we got the Impact viewing figures, which are nice to see, and bruised eye socket, which was suffered from a botched move by Hernandez. We'll see how that is in a minute. And here we've got Enzo Amore is in. He is in, so we'll finalise that in a minute. And we've got a pay rise request from Fred Yehi, who wants 210. He's requesting $100 pay raise. Absolutely accept that. Yeah, no worries. we are thinking of bringing in Big Cass. What do you guys think? I don't know whether he'll be a tag team with Enzo. I feel like that might complicate things if we bring in Big Cass, who I'll actually call William Morrissey. I will call him W. Morrissey, as he's called in Impact. But I thought, as he was brought in real life, would you want to see him or not? Would you want to see him with Enzo Amore as well? Would you like to see that pairing, or would you like me to explore Enzo as a manager on its own for a bit longer? I don't really know, for a long amount of time with Tennille Dashwood and stuff. Would you like to see that a little bit more? It's up to you guys, really. I'm a bit in the middle about it, which is why I'm asking you guys. I'm not really bothered which way, but I thought I'd put the offer in anyway and just see where it goes before we obviously then progress forwards a bit too far, before we can get him and make that right decision. So yeah, it's up to you guys. We'll see how much Thingy will be out for. Daga, it's being worked through, but it'll be out for 17 days. Sammy Callahan is still out. He can still work through it, but it's best you don't. And he's still going to be out for another 30 days, so he's going to be out for a while longer anyway. But yeah, that's a really good show there. We'll see if the size has been affected at all. I don't think it would have been too much. No, not too much. There's been a couple of rises, but nothing major, and nothing in our biggest region. So we'll just get on with Explosion. I'll progress forward. If anything happens beforehand, obviously I'll show you that, but if not, we'll just get straight on in with that one. Right, so AEW and NXT have had their shows. So AEW had a 78 rated show. They're really starting to hot things up now. It seems like they've really hit a momentum spike. So they're going to be almost uncatchable from here on out. And NXT have a 67, a little bit more catchable. They are 10 above me though, which is an issue. So yeah, we're kind of just plodding along at the moment, and we're going to have to see how that goes. We might have to put on more pay-per-views, which I wouldn't really want to do at all, because I feel like I like my super shows. I like how AEW do things, and NXT do things. I like how them two do their shows. I want to keep it that way. So yeah, we'll just have to see. And then we got a notification, so it seems like Big Cass is coming in, so it's up to you guys really. Do you want him in? Do you not? It's literally up to you. Right, so I have booked the show. I think it's another good Explosion show. I'm trying out a few new things. Well, I say trying out a few new things. There's one new thing really that I'm trying out. I also explained Foley's absence from the past week because I forgot to use Mick Foley instead of Scott D'Amore to do with the Miro situation. So I know where I'm going to go with that now. I'm going to slightly change my plans a little bit. But it's going to work, it's going to work. So, yeah, let's get into it. So we start off the show with a 43 rated segment where the Good Brothers defeated Melina and Tennille Dashwood in 11.5 minutes when Doc Gallows pinned Melina Perez with a magic killer. Melina was the weak link apparently. Tennille Dashwood got 44, Melina 31, Carl Anderson 49, Doc Gallows 47. Really good stuff here, especially by Tennille Dashwood. She was really up there. So yeah, I feel like that addition of Enzo Amore is gonna really help that little tag team there. But I decided to get him to lose before bringing in Enzo. That's explained soon. And the Good Brothers needed a win, especially after this past week, just to get their momentum going again. Then we got a 40 rated segment where Scott D'Amore explains that Mick Foley was absent from this week. He said he's seen all the social media presence about why wasn't Mick Foley involved whatsoever, especially with that Miro situation. You know, that seemed like a situation Mick Foley should have handled, and like people have criticised the way that Scott D'Amore dealt with it. And he said that look, Foley has been attending to Jeff Hardy, especially given the Daga and Jeff Hardy situation. So while Foley deals with that, Scott D'Amore took over this past week, and he said, obviously, what I said goes, and I made the best decision, what I believe to be the best decision. So yeah, that kind of ties up a little loose end there. Then we got a 41 rated segment where Melina is frustrated. She's like, we've lost again, blah blah. And Tennille Dashwood is like, look, leave it to me, I'll get us some help, I know just the man. So she says, I know just the man, just to really tease it. But yeah, it's all gonna come in now. We're getting there. We're slowly getting there. So yeah, that's gonna be a cool little storyline, I think. Then we've got a 40 rated segment where Manic defeated Tony Cage in about 10 minutes with a running single leg high knee strike. Manic got a 49, Tony Cage 21. Decent stuff here. Apparently Tony Cage was off his game, but some nice work by Manic, especially in this one. This new attitude, this very quiet TJP is going to work quite well for a bit and gives him something to do while not being in a fully fledged storyline at the moment. Like, he is in one now, but it's just a placeholder, isn't it? It's not like a title feud or anything. So it just keeps him relevant while not actually rising up the card. Then we've got a 55 rated segment where Trey Miguel gets a Future Stars package. So this is the thing that I'm on about now, is I might do like a Future Stars package thing to really amp up some people, especially like people lower down the card that I believe to be future stars. I was going to do it how AEW do it, which is with an interviewee and doing it that way, but I might go down this route where it's just a promo package, really giving a background to every person. Trey Miguel getting this at 55. Apparently Trey Miguel's gimmick's getting quite stale, so I'll have to keep that in mind and sort that out. But yeah, I feel like this might be something we do every week on Explosion, just to maybe get a little bit of momentum behind them. I was considering maybe doing it on the main show as well. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I'd definitely be interested in doing these on the main show if it helps their momentum that a little bit more. Then we got a 37 rated segment where Rick Swann defeated Lust the Legend in about 10 minutes with the Chicken Fried Driver. Rick Swann got a 44, Lust the Legend 21. A nice simple victory here, nothing that crazy, nothing special, just a simple match. Then we've got a 44 rated segment where Havoc and Nevaeh are seen talking backstage. James Mitchell is lurking in the background. That's just for me to explain the fact that I haven't taken Havoc off of James Mitchell off of Havoc yet. But yeah, so it's just the mentioning of James Mitchell and stuff, but some really good stuff here. And gives me some faith with this storyline to see where this goes. We're slowly bolstering the tag team division. Maybe this will bolster it even more. We'll have to wait and see. Then we got to a 25 rating segment where Brendan Webb talks about EC3 and says how he's a fraud. He's a fraud because he's stayed at the top for so long, stayed at the top of the company for so long, yet has accomplished nothing. In the past year, he has accomplished nothing. He hasn't won a title, he hasn't won many big matches, and yet he's remained at the top of the card, and Brendan Webb just calls him a fraud outright. So we'll have to see what EC3's reaction to that will be, either on next week's Explosion or more likely to be on Impact. And then the main event of the evening is Joe Hennig defeating Cody Deaner in 13 minutes with the Hennig Plex. Joe Hennig with a 47 rated in-ring performance. Cody Deaner with a 35. Great stuff by them, and they have great chemistry. So we'll have to maybe flesh out a few more matches out of this one. Interesting that these two have great chemistry, but nice to see Joe Hennig with such a great performance, and Cody Deaner getting up there as well. Bear in mind he's not the best in ring, but Joe Hennig is someone that I feel like could do well outside of this tag team, so it's nice to see that he probably would if I gave him the push. So yeah, really nice stuff here, and leaves us with a 44 rated Explosion. Really nice stuff here. I feel like that was a nice way of getting us back into the swing of things on TEW, and slowly but surely we're going to get back into it. We've got some big stuff coming up. Next week is the 3 vs 3, the Warriors of Paint versus the Law and Brian Myers. We've got Miro's poison match, we've got Dreamer's poison match, and Steele's versus Hogan. I probably will put Steele's versus Hogan on the main show rather than Kylie Ray and Kimber Lee, even though that one's going to be better, just to bolster the popularity of the other two. I feel like it's needed, that you need to bolster that popularity. So hopefully the additions of Elijah Burke at ringside and Kairi Hojo at ringside will help boost that match to have a good rating at least, and then bolster their popularities overall. That is the aim. Whether that happens or not, I do not know. So yeah, that is it for this episode. If you have enjoyed it and you're happy that the series is back, because I'm sure as hell happy that this is back, hit that like button, tell me that you are happy. Comment anything down below where you think all of this is going, anything you want me to do. Do you want me to have big casts? Do you not? It's up to you guys. I definitely will do things with Enzo Amore. I want to use him as a manager at the very least. Whether that tag team thing works, I don't really know, because then you'd have 2 tag teams but they're working together. It's a hard concept to get right. So yeah, but put all of that down in the comments down below. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button to not miss a thing, and I shall see all of you in the next video. See ya!